How's everybody doing? I wanted to just reach out to you before a holiday here in the United States called Thanksgiving, which is coming up on Thursday, where we'll be enjoying, hopefully, with our families and friends and having a wonderful meal. So I just want to wish all of you a wonderful and safe and happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you around the world who are taking this class, or a few of you, celebrate it. I hope that the week, nonetheless, is a week filled with thanks for all that you do have and all the things that you'll acquire quite soon. I wanted to just take a few moments of your time, and I know you're busy preparing for the holidays or just getting ready to, kind of wrap this course up. Concerning your final exam, we've got to make sure that your grades, hopefully, remain on track. But I want to caution you, paper 3 and the final exam can tank your grade. I'm not one that likes to curve, okay, and do that kind of adjustment. I like to look at things honestly, fairly, and justly. So you know what the weightings are. Please refer to the syllabus. But they will weight heavily. But in particular, your final exam, I want to give you some insight. I'll list some of these in an announcement. And as we get closer, I may issue another announcement, or you can feel free to reach out to me, okay? I'm on WhatsApp for those of you overseas. My number, my email, you know how to get a hold of me, and there are various different ways, and I respond pretty quickly, as you know. So if you have any questions concerning your final exam, you better ask, because afterwards, once I do the grading, and if you don't like your grade, I'm going to ask you whether or not you spoke with me and what your concerns are. Okay? I do not want any weeping or gnashing of teeth. So please, take this opportunity to use this time that I'm giving you well in advance of the final to start thinking about it. Okay? Your final is going to pretty much be 5 tasks, if you will, like you're taking the CPA exam and simulation, right? You're going to have a task with, let's say, 5 tabs or 5 tasks. Going through them, you're going to basically have 2 essays and what I'm going to call 3 exercises, okay? The first essay is pretty much, or shall I say the first 2, is really an exploration of yourself and how you deal with resistance being number 1, okay? We want to know, to be fair, we all have biases and prejudices, and don't tell me you don't, you know you do. And we use these to resist opinions that we don't like. Well, to really be logical and fair to other people, to follow an appropriate ethical framework, you have to understand your resistance and kind of put it in a box like a demon and lock it up in order to be fair. If you don't, you're really not fair-minded. You really can't critically think. So our first essay is going to deal with resistance. The second essay will deal with your character and integrity. And again, I'm going to give you specific text readings to help you, okay? But this is verbalizing what my expectations are. So your second essay will explore integrity. And you'll know more when I post the home announcement. But there I really want to look at, or have you look at, your strengths, your weaknesses, and where you might fall, because you will be under pressure one day. And if you already have and fallen, it can happen again unless you take proactive steps to avoid it, whether it's in your personal life or professional life. And in government, things are getting harder and harder. So we know the pressures are ever present and they're multiplying by the day. Okay, let's see. Your third essay will be, trying to look here. We are going to deal with the Menzel text, I think, for your third essay. And I should have taken better notes, right? Give me a moment. Okay, yes. I've got the third edition. You may have the second. We're going to deal with privatization, big initiative in government, both at the federal, state, and local levels, okay? If you got the Menzel text, third edition, on page 236, you'll see a discussion on privatization, what we call public-private partnerships, basically. Our toll roads at the state and local levels, mostly. If you don't have the discussion in the second edition, okay, just Google public-private partnerships. You can go to the GAO website. You can even go to FASAB, where we talk about public-private partnerships. You can go to the National Council of Public-Private Partnerships, and even the United Nations, the World Health Organization, a lot of entities, governmental and nonprofit entities, have web pages that talk about these initiatives with government, okay? So just become, just kind of familiar with what's going on, and I want you to be prepared to talk about the pros and cons, the ethical pros and cons, and their implications to society, okay? So we're going to do that, and then I'll give you specific references again, okay? And I want to make sure, oh, and there's also going to be, okay? And I believe we will be using the Duska text for this one. We'll be using Duska for, let's say, this next exercise, which I'm going to give you a simulation, right? And it's very brief. There'll be a brief ethical dilemma, and it relates back to the Accounting Code of Ethics. You'll need to read the ethical dilemma and identify what aspect of the code has been violated or may be violated. Now that's an easy layup shot, okay? So, but I'm also going to ask you some introspective questions about how you would deal with this type of a situation. And that's enough said for now, but understand that this course is really designed about you trying to uncover yourself for the ethical fight that awaits. And if you don't know your weaknesses and if you don't know your strengths, you can't put up a good fight. You can't train well. Okay, so for those of you that have been really following along and digging into the material and kind of doing this introspection, you're getting it, and you're going to be a lot better off for it. For those of you that haven't, take it for what it's worth, okay? But all I can say is that Professor Smith has laid a great foundation, and I'm trying to take that and kind of ramp it up and make it more practical to a day-to-day. Now, the last exercise deals with moral character, okay? And there, basically, we will have you identify your ethical framework. So that won't be too difficult. Now, I expect the order to stay this way. I haven't really finalized the final exam in the sense of weighting, but as soon as I crafted, the final, I wanted to get this message out to you so you could begin thinking about it, okay? I'll post something on the homepage in writing. You'll have some specific references there. And I want you to start thinking about it now. The final will be a timed exam, so it will time out. I haven't determined how long I want to give you, but be prepared. That's why I'm giving you the time now, okay? And again, no excuses at the end. If you have any questions, let me know, because that might be a question others may have, and I can clarify it for you, okay? So with that being said, I've held you long enough. I know you have a lot on your plate, and I hope this Thursday you got a lot more on your plate, especially if you got that turkey and stuffing. What I miss most were our Thanksgiving dinners were Italian-American style. So we had, the American turkey and stuffing, which, okay. But then we had all the wonderful Italian food. Baked lasagna. I mean, we would start with like a wedding soup, which was beautiful, or a stracciatella soup. And then, it was from soup to nuts. And then, the turkey and American stuffing was kind of like just there, But it was wonderful. So I hope for you and your families that you enjoy Thanksgiving, and reach out to me if you need anything, okay? But have a great week, and maybe I'll talk to you soon.